guys! So I have some favorites for you today. I don't have very much stuff, but I have a couple things that I wanted to talk about. The first is a face wash, and I don't know if I've ever had a face wash favorite before. This is the Peter Thomas Roth Anti-Aging Cleansing Gel, and this actually came in a sample bag, but it's a huge sample. This is 2 ounces of cleanser, and the full size is like around 6 ounces, and it's $30, so it's kind of expensive for a cleanser, but also you get a lot of it. But anyway, this is just a really amazing cleanser for retexturing and exfoliating the face without any kind of scrubbies or microbeads. I've really noticed a huge difference when I use this. I love this Peter Thomas Roth Anti-Aging Cleansing Gel. And next I have a product from Rimmel. This is the Stay Matte Primer, and I almost bought this for years, and then I finally picked it up and I absolutely love it. I just put this on my forehead before I apply my BB cream, and it just makes a huge difference in the lasting power of my BB cream in that area, because that's really the only part of my face that tends to get oily during the day. So this is lasting forever because I just use like a tiny little amount on my forehead, and that one step has made a really big difference. And then I have a few highlighter favorites. The first I've talked about before. This is the IT Cosmetics Hello Light Cream Illuminator, and it is a cream highlight that I use all the time. And I love this because it's really illuminating without being too sparkly. I have it on my hand right there. I also have a date that I need to remember. But I use this with a e.l.f. small stippling brush, and I just put it directly into the product, put it directly on my face, and then sometimes for nighttime I'll put it also under the brow, on the bridge of the nose, on the chin, on the cupid's bow, like sort of in more highlighty areas. It's a little too intense to do that during the day, but I just find that on its own or as a base for other highlighters, this is really wonderful and I love it. And it's not detectable as like a separate thing on your face. It just sort of fuses with the skin and looks like you're glowing, which is the point of highlight. Then I have 2 powder highlights. One is sort of more high impact and one is more subtle. The more subtle one, I've had this for a long time, but I don't think I've talked about it in a while. This is the Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Powder in Translucent. This is from the range of Physicians Formula that has these heart designs in it, and supposedly the scent makes you happy. It came originally with a little brush that has since gotten lost. I really wish Physicians Formula would just make their palettes like this instead of having the well in the bottom for the brush that no one uses. But anyway, this is a multicolored sort of powder. They say translucent, but it definitely shows up on the skin, and I think that this is a really beautiful highlight. And the way I use this is I just swirl it all together with a brush, and it has a slight pink tinge to it, and I'll just use it with a brush just sort of on this whole area here, and it just sort of brightens and creates a sheen on the skin, but it doesn't have detectable sparkle in it. It does have a little bit of sparkle to it because some of the hearts have sparkle in them, but most of them don't. So this is just a really nice subtle highlighter for every day. I've used a lot of it. Cool, so that's the Physicians Formula Happy Booster Translucent Mood Boosting Powder. And then for a more intense highlight, I recently was looking through my highlighters and swatching them because I was really tempted to buy the new Urban Decay Aura highlighter, but I did not, and instead I found this in my highlighter stash. This is by The Face Shop, which I believe is a Korean brand. I got this on sale at Urban Outfitters in their beauty department. But this is called Lovely Me XU and Face Blusher in 01 Pink Glow. And on the front it says, I make you brighter. And this, so it's a blush, but it's definitely a highlight. It's very, very light. But the cool thing about this is that it's like duochrome. So it looks like this baby pink color in the pan, but when you blend it out and in the light, it has sort of a violet blue shift to it. Really pretty. I could stare at it all day. It has just sort of, I don't know if it's duochrome or just like an opalescence to it, but there's just more going on than meets the eye with this. I also love this packaging. It's so tiny and easy. So yeah, I don't even know if this is available anymore, but it's the Face Shop Face Blusher in 01 Pink Glow. And then my next favorite is depotting. I went on a little bit of a depotting tear because I got a new palette, which I will put in a haul that I'm about to shoot, but this is the Sephora Baby Z palette, and right now what's in here are all my Benefit box blushes. What I did was I took all of those blushes and put them in here, and then I was like, I had the itch to depot, so I did. And I depotted 3 MAC shadows that I had in little single pans, and some Urban Decay, and then I also depotted a bunch of Lancome. I think these 3 at the bottom here are Lancome that were all in individual pans. If you don't know about depotting, there's a ton of videos on YouTube about it. Basically what it is you take a single eyeshadow that comes in its own little case, and using prying or heat, you pop the pan out, and then if you need to, you put a magnet on the bottom, and then instead of one little eyeshadow in a package of its own, you can put it in with a bunch of its friends, and it's just easier to see all your colors and use them, and it takes up less space. One color that I discovered through doing this that I absolutely love is a color design eyeshadow from Lancome called Filigree, and this I had in my drawer and I wasn't using it because it was in its own little pot, but it's sort of a green tone eyeshadow, and in the pan it looks sort of blah, but then on the skin it shows up as like it has almost like a lime green shift to it. It's really interesting, so I love that. And I use the method where I heat the label a little bit too, so I can take the labels off and put them on the bottom. The downside of depotting is I did destroy one eyeshadow. Let me show you, it looks crazy. This is Secret Service from Urban Decay, and look at it, it looks like a cow pat now. It's disgusting. This just shattered because I basically, everything that could go wrong went wrong while I was depotting. I like stabbed myself, I burned myself, I shattered things, I spilled rubbing alcohol everywhere. It was just like a disaster, but it was really fun. But yeah, this one shattered, so I poured some rubbing alcohol in there and kind of repressed it, not very beautifully, but it is still working. It's totally still working, so we'll see how long this guy survives. I'm trying to give him a second lease on life. Oh, I did depot also 3 Wet n Wild eyeshadows in here. But anyway, that is depotting. And then I have one other eyeshadow favorite. I just rediscovered this Vegan Culture Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow palette. This was limited edition from either spring or summer last year, but it is available on Overstock.com in a bundle with all the other 6 pans for like $11. So if you wanted to get it, it is still available. But the reason that I'm loving this palette is for these 2 colors. This green and then these 2 colors are so pretty. I love them. And what I did yesterday and a couple days ago as well was put the lighter color just all over the lid, and then this along the lower lash line. And then I used sort of a neutral transition shade in the crease to blend it out, and it just looked so pretty. These 2 colors are amazing. And this palette is just so good. 2 more things. So the first is a little Bobbi Brown Face Touch-Up Palette. This came from a friend who just wasn't using it, so she gave it to me. But this is so convenient. It has a mirror, and then it has the Light Bisque Corrector, the Sandy Creamy Concealer, the Sand Foundation Stick, and then a pale yellow setting powder. So it's everything you need to touch up your face. And this shade is slightly too dark for me, but it is workable, especially when I put this powder over the top. But I would love, once I use this one up, I would love to get this in my shade, because for travel, this is just, I mean, in a pinch, you could do your entire face with this. And all the products are really good, and even though they're cream in a pan, they still are staying very usable and they're not drying out. So I really love this Bobbi Brown Face Touch-Up Palette. And then finally I have some brush favorites. These are all from the Sephora Smoke Machine set, which came in a brush roll last holiday season. But I think they always have kind of one of these eye set brushes going on. There may have been some other ones that I just didn't grab. But slowly these have been making their way into the ones that I grab for first when I'm doing my eye makeup. And the ones I have here are the base shadow brush, the precision smudge brush, which is probably my favorite one. It's like a pencil brush with a pointed tip. The angled liner brush, and this is the, what is that? I think this is just a shadow brush. It doesn't have, the words came off of it already. But I just love these. I like how long the handles are, and I also just think that they pick up product really fast and they blend it really well. So I'm just a big fan of these for eye brushes. That's all my favorites. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.